Good evening, everyone! You are watching the Useless Potatoes podcast. I am your host for the night, Dan, and today I am joined by my two lovely co-hosts, Neko and Taylor. How are you guys doing today?
Hello, I'm
I'm
Nico.
lovely? Wait,
That
I'm lovely? Hold on. I need to hear this. I'm lovely?
Never mind. People who ask for constant praise are not lovely, Neko. You are actually foul. I hate you, and I'm coming to your house to stretch your scrotum over your forehead.
It is much more like it. I appreciate that, Dan.
Fuck you.
I mean, in
Do I
place.
need to do I need to go let you guys have this out? Like I feel like I'm encroaching on a very romantic, intimate moment and I need to go to the other room.
Listen, there is nothing more masculine than two dudes banging, Taylor, okay?
Honestly,
Exactly.
like if
That is a lot of
if you can't-
testosterone in one place.
truly.
Anyways,
It
but
ain't
yeah.
gay in a two-way.
My question still stands. How are you guys doing today? How was your days? How was your week? How was your week? Tell me about your week.
Oh, my week was kind of oh boy. Don't become a software developer, kids. They tell you it's fun and you'll make money.
Okay. Who told you it would be fun? I feel like nobody told you it would be fun, Taylor.
My programming one instructor was like, "Oh, it's fun. It's all logic puzzles." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." And then I'm like, "Oh, it's just meetings, bullshit, and trying to explain to people that no, you can't just put a button on it. You can't fucking just rewrite shit. No."
And it's rough over there.
My favorite one is like, "Oh, it's gonna be a small fix." It's almost like the cartoon character goes, "Oh, what can possibly go wrong?" You can almost hear the comical trombone when they say it, because like the next thing you know, they've added 8 items to your job, and you're like, "Where the fuck did these come from?"
Those
So
eight
yeah, that's
items have like 24 steps apiece.
Oh yeah. They're like, "Oh, this is a tiny fix," and then 3 days later, "Oh yeah, we're adding this and this and this and this." I'm like, "What happened to tiny fix? What happened to adding little thing? Now we back at big thing, but little thing was trying to fix broken thing, and now we've got to add a big thing." And I'm just losing every brain cell I got left.
See,
That's how my week's
I don't know what
going.
you're upset about. I don't know why you're mad, alright? I think Danielle in the chat's got it right. Just put a button on it.
Honestly.
So I think Nico, I don't know if you ever met Kid. I lost my fucking gourd with someone when they made that joke because it had been like a 60-hour work week, which I know for retail it's like, aha, grow up. But 60-hour work week, I was already pissed off at every bit of technology. My friend goes like, why can't they just put a button on it? I rampaged and ranted about why we couldn't just put a fucking button on it for 45 minutes.
So
I
if a
looked at the
button's not an
clock.
option, what about a switch?
Radial menu. I love radial menus because they have the little dot and it fills it out and it's so satisfying.
How about you, Neko?
Anyways,
Yeah, as for my week, it's been kind of bland. Not a whole lot to talk about besides just, you know, living life, working a job that doesn't pay me a lot and then only gives me 1 day of work. It's speaking of, I went from getting a 10-hour day last week. This next week, I'm getting a single 12-hour day. I'm so hyped. I need to quit this job.
I had a genuine crazy person just do a button 5 head. Love it. Could you sew a button? Love it. I had a I had a genuinely crazy person in my store yesterday. Like it was genuinely rough. It was boy. This person came in, and I won't get into it because I don't want to talk about like where I work or anything like that. But this person was asking me a lot of questions that were very alarming, questions that like you don't want someone to ask you. This person was convinced there were sea creatures coming up from the ocean that the angels left there, and that Steven Spielberg was in on it. But it's okay because he was teaching everyone the witchcraft from Harry Potter, so we could stop them.
I recall you talking about this.
so this sounds like someone got high and wrote a very weird movie with ad libs. This is
So what it is during the pandemic, there was a hotel just down the way from where my workplace is, and I work in a store, and this hotel was used by the local government to basically house the homeless during the pandemic to get them off the street. And unfortunately, the hotel eventually couldn't just keep them there forever, so, they let them out at some point, and now every once in a blue moon, they'll come into my store, and I get to talk to them, and it's concerning.
They're everywhere.
Man,
I think one
sorry,
of
this
the
is
worst.
pointless.
I think one of the worst ones I had was a guy came in, and I asked him how he was doing, and he looked at me and he said, "Oh, uh, I'm not supposed to talk about that."
Oh.
And I'm like, "Okay." And then he starts talking to himself, saying, "Yeah, right, yeah, no, definitely. Like, it's better than what you've got, but yeah, definitely." And I'm like, "What? Okay." So I asked him what brought him in, and he looks at me and goes, "Oh," and he starts looking around, and he says, "I was wondering if you guys have a bathroom I could use." And I just immediately red flag because it's a big problem in my area where people will go into the restrooms of stores, restaurants, and such. They'll shoot up with drugs and then they'll pass out in the bathrooms. Once they get in there, you can't get them out. You have to get police involved, and it sucks. And so I just say, no, sorry. Besides, the restroom at my workplace is employees only, anyways, so whatever. And I say, but there's a restaurant, like a fast food place, that's like 3 or 4 places down, like units down, not even addresses down. Like,
Oh yeah, so
like
it's in
walk,
the plaza.
yeah, walk 10 steps, you're there. And he looks at me and goes, "Oh, well, just between you and me, they're all gonna get sick. They're not gonna make it." And then he just turns around and leaves.
This man was talking to his demons. Oh my lord, what?
Okay. Imagine
Am I
that.
supposed to-
Imagine dying because some homeless dude knew that the Black Death was coming for you while you were sitting there
This
eating your
man's-
overpriced soup. What a awful ending to your life that would be. Which
This
segues us
man wasn't just
perfectly.
talking-
Which
Wow.
segues us
He was-
perfectly into our topic for the night. The worst endings in media. 7 minutes of preamble and build-up and random talking to get to 7 minutes worth of bullcrap to get to the topic of the night. I love us.
That was an 11 out of 10 Linus Tech Tip segue. I thoroughly appreciated that. I did not see that coming.
You're welcome.
That was
You're
that,
welcome.
that was hard.
So,
I would just like to mention, like, that man wasn't just talking to his demons. He was talking to straight up pestilence.
He was talking to Cthulhu.
oh yeah, no, like holy god. So yeah, worst endings. Now, this goes without saying. Spoiler alert for this whole stream. We're going to be talking about things that maybe you don't want to hear about yet. Those video games you're playing, those shows you're watching, that movie you're binging, whatever garbage tier Marvel crap you're watching right now, we might spoil it. I don't know.
So do we want to say what we're spoiling specifically, or do we
Well,
just want to
endings.
like YOLO?
Just-
Yeah, maybe like
Yeah.
what as we like go over between each person, maybe like, oh, I'm spoiling.
I think if you're the type of person who's terrified about spoilers, you've probably already tuned out by now.
Yeah, fair.
So,
My
you
girlfriend.
know,
My girlfriend. My
yeah.
girlfriend.
So, I'm going to go first with one that I could go on, like, I could rant about this forever. I made a video about this. Taylor, did you see my Outbound Ghost review video?
Yes, I did. I loved that.
Yeah.
I thought I commented, but I at least liked.
So, that ending had me so mad. For those who haven't seen it, this game's ending, they have all of this story build-up. They work so hard on getting you to be invested in these characters, getting you to care about them, getting you to be invested in what's going on in their lives, their struggles, and who they are. And then it answers none of the questions it builds up. It gets to the actual beginning of the ending, and then they yank you away from it and answer nothing. Absolutely nothing.
The only
Isn't- don't
character
they-
I was invested in while I was watching the little bit like you were showing me live was Shirley. Just
Yeah,
just her name
Shirley
was funny to me.
can slob my fucking knob first and foremost.
Surely it's not that bad. I'm gonna stick with that joke for like forever.
Oh my god.
I just like the fact that they like did the whole like did they do it? Was it a full perspective switch, or was it just like, oh, this
Yeah.
is what actually happened?
Yeah, you swapped
That was-
characters.
which is grand. Like, I think one video game in my entire gaming career has actually done that successfully.
It's such a weak ending. It is a very weak ending when you go through and you do the whole like, oh, this person was just hallucinating the whole time, or oh, this person was just imagining everything this whole time. I think that's why stories like Hello Neighbor just didn't work, because when you got to the end of that game and you realized, oh, none of the third or final act happened. This was what your character dreamed about while napping on the couch.
Oh, I
and so
hate that trope
it takes
so much.
it takes all the stakes out.
Yeah, no, it makes you
Shark
feel
Boy and
stupid
Lava
for
Girl.
having cared in the first place.
Yup.
Like the
Like,
entire
why am I
plot of
here?
Shark Boy and Lava Girl. It was all a dream. Kind of.
Okay, if you watched the first
Sorta.
6 minutes of that movie and you were invested, you deserve everything that came to you at the ending of that movie.
Listen, I am a hardcore Shark Boy and Lava Girl fan, and I am thoroughly offended, and I will talk about you on Tumblr.
Taylor Lautner starred in 3 Twilight movies, and this is still the worst thing he's ever done. I don't care.
I don't know, like that final Twilight movie, that was no, the one where Taylor Lautner's a secret agent. That one was pretty bad. That was
I
really
love that
bad.
time. I love that time when he imprinted on a baby.
Oh yeah, he's just, baby comes out of the vampire lady that he's been lusting after, just immediately, I'm gonna fuck that baby.
Listen, it's not so bad. He cares about her, like her genuinely as a child, and won't get the sex thoughts until she's grown up.
Anyways,
That was such an
God.
awful scene.
It really that was absolute hot garbage. But yes, that the Outbound Ghost, that was frustrating. Just watching the video, I'm like, wow, I'm pissed off, and I haven't even played it.
Yeah, that's one of those games you might have to pay me to play, to be honest.
Surely not.
I thank you.
You're welcome. Alright.
Really, it couldn't be that bad.
Dan's having an aneurysm over there.
Oh,
Mission
yeah.
accomplished. High five, Neko.
And the silence has never been so loud.
Listen, silence of the lambs, Clarice. The lambs.
Shh, 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 shh.
and then it got real quiet. So, yeah, but some of the worst endings, like, just what ending has made you like the angriest, I guess, guys? Like, if you had to pick a game, a show, a movie, what ending just made you want to just throw something out of your chair because it was just that badly written?
So, Neko,
I don't
if I
know
go-
about badly written per se.
I
If you have
I
one,
have
Taylor,
one.
you go for it.
I have one because it's badly written and somehow is also unethical. So there is a video game called Asura's Wrath. It was really, really good. It's the one video game I can think of where you legitimately play an anime, like like bonkers action scenes.
I
Cool
don't know about that
story.
one. God Hand
Harem?
exists.
Aram?
No, like
Oh,
DBZ.
okay.
Yeah, I need to play God Hand. Anyways, so you go through this game. You're getting invested in this story. Asura's angry, trademark, I guess, trying to get his daughter back. And you go through this whole thing. You are fighting this pantheon of gods, in very similar to God of War. Go figure. And it turns out the little golden bug on your shoulder was the bad guy the whole time. Shocker. And wait, no, let me back up. So you beat the final god, and you think you save your daughter, and it ends on a cliffhanger.
Great,
Now,
love it, love that, love everything about that.
Cool. You're thinking, okay, that's the ending, kind of shitty. They're sequel bait. Thanks. No, what Capcom did was put the real ending behind DLC. I am not shitting you. You can look this up.
No.
And this is
no.
yes. It was infuriating. So if you didn't buy the true ending at that time when it released, you didn't get the real ending. So you're like, the ending you got was illegitimate unless you paid money. And then it was just the cliched, oh, your little guide who was kind of shady to begin with was the bad guy the whole time. Cool. Thanks, Capcom. I love being cucked out of my endings because I didn't pull my wallet out immediately. Thank you. I love it.
God, that's rough. That's rough. Danielle's asking in the chat, where's the little lines going up and down? When I switched over to YouTube from Twitch, all of my stream settings did not come with me, so getting that same exact effect has been challenging, to say the least. But yeah.
Yeah.
Apologies.
Yeah, that's the
DLC
that's the one.
DLC locked endings. That crap. That Boy, you want to see me get not happy with you. That is a great way to do it.
Well, yeah,
That's
and
a
it
no
just
from me, Chief.
it's a hard no because it so first of all, like ethically, I would say, okay, that's not the real ending. What came with the game, what came with the base $60 package is the ending. And it was a shitty cliffhanger.
Yeah,
But to include like the real one and like, go fuck yourself.
that's god, that's not okay. Like no one cares for that.
No,
Why would you do
no.
that though? Like I don't understand. I do understand. It's because they know people will shell out for that goddamn like for that actual ending. They will shell out for
I
that.
did. I was
No,
so
this
mad. I was like, fuck you, Capcom, here's my money.
this just made me think about my feelings towards Destiny. Weirdly enough, because
Oh,
like
there
there was endings to certain expansions
that
that
were
like they were
bad.
they were awful. But they were also like they tied up a part of the story that was like it was good. But
Cool. Yay, thank you.
now we're at a point in Destiny where like all of that stuff back there that you paid money for and spent the time, played through, got stuff, met characters, lost characters. Can't touch that stuff anymore. All those endings you got in that area, all the endings to
Gone.
those expansions, gone. Never
Gone.
happened. So dumb.
Oh
Oh
boy.
yeah.
It's not even that it's locked behind DLC, because if you have the DLC, it's there. You can't play it, but it's there.
It's there. Yeah.
Oh, I don't care for that. I do not care for that
Destiny's
at all.
frustrating. So frustrating.
Ah, God, I
And then
yeah, that's rough. That reminds me a lot of the ending to Fallout New Vegas. How that game had so much story. I'm like the only person I know who doesn't think the ending to Fallout New Vegas is that great. Like no matter what side you pick, the ending always feels really lackluster.
oh,
Never played
is it
it.
like is it Mass Effect 3 levels of absolute dumpster fire?
So it's one of those endings where there is no good ending, which is fine,
Oh, yeah, I
except
love those.
yeah, which is fine, except unfortunately the game also ends when the game ends. You never get to see the ramifications or the consequences of your choices.
Oh, I
Yeah.
that drives me like any open world game that does that. Looking at you, Far Cry 5, that where you put the world into a certain state, but it's just over. Like the only game I felt that was kind of okay with it was okay with it was Cyberpunk, oddly enough, because the like theme wise, Cyberpunk deals with the whole no matter what you do, nothing really changes kind of thing. So it was
Right,
understandable.
right.
But like for Far Cry 5, like the world gets nuked. Okay, like cool. Can we go play with it? Nah, we're gonna put that in a $40 piece of crap game. Good luck.
Yay. That
Thank
Love when the
you.
world gets nuked.
another
Just
game
like
that
Fallout 4.
another game that did that well was Darksiders 2. I loved Darksiders 2. I don't know if that's the majority opinion or not, but I'll die on that hill that I liked
Oh,
Darksiders 2.
Darksiders 2 was. I
Yeah.
haven't played it,
Yeah.
and most people I talked to say it was really good.
Yeah, that game, I believe that game ends when it ends as well. Like the ending is it, you're done playing. But that's also a big open world exploration game. But there's no moral choices you have to make in that game, so I guess it kind of tracks that you wouldn't you wouldn't want to bother hanging around afterwards because you know what's going to happen every time, you know?
Yeah.
I have to talk to every single NPC everywhere in the entire game, even if I beat the game. Has to happen. Even if all they
Yes.
have to say is, "Howdy, how you doing?"
Howdy, partner. How are you doing?
I'm Carloman. So like that. They're just everywhere.
Like a Pokemon game where like you beat the Elite Four and you come back to the starting area and someone's still going, "I'm so excited for your adventure."
Oh, don't make me think of putting Carloman in Pokemon, because now there's just gonna be a bunch of Carlomines everywhere. Car.
But
Yeah. Nico, have you gotten to talk about an ending yet, or are you still have we
Yeah.
just completely ignored you like we always do?
No, I just I was listening to y'all talk and add my own stuff in there every once in a while, but I do have a couple endings that very opinionated, I feel, because
So
I don't think I've heard a lot of people like get upset about them per se, although I probably just wasn't paying attention. That's
go on
okay.
Reddit. Go on Reddit. You'll find someone.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. But I'll start this off by saying I'm a weeb. I watch anime, a lot of anime.
Weeb
So
gang. Let's go.
yeah, if anybody's ever watched Akame ga Kill, it's an anime that follows this kid that wants to basically join up with like the Royal Knights or whatever, and ends up becoming part of like this elite assassin group after stuff and things happen. I don't want to spoil that part at least. But frankly, he grows close to these assassins. There's a lot of build up, and you get very close to all of the characters. As when you get to the ending, where none of that mattered because everybody's dead. Like, how do you end a story with just nobody surviving besides like two side characters that hardly mattered? I don't understand that. It didn't
Was it the
really.
anime? Was it the
Yeah,
anime?
it was the anime. It was the
Okay.
anime.
Do you know the Four Kids One Piece ended like that? Oh yeah, they ended just like that. The Four Kids adaptation of One Piece. They were like they ended. They were sailing towards the Grand Line, and a giant whale landed on them and killed all of them. I
No,
am
they
not
didn't
joking.
get crushed by Laboon, did they?
Oh
They
boy!
get crushed by Laboon.
They may have. Nico, keep talking about something. I'll fact check myself.
Oh my god!
I'm actually like thoroughly upset if they got crushed by Laboon. Yeah. Besides that ending, a lot of people said it was a really good ending, just because like it may not have like answered a whole lot of questions, but the build up kind of led in that direction. Because like these people, they seemed a little more powerful, but they weren't any less human than the next guy. So it kind of made you feel like there's not as big of a border between their characters and like what they make, what they can do, all that jazz. Oh my lord, I gotta see this. One Piece 4 Kids dub.
Yeah, the last scene is this ship coming out of the sky to crush all of them. To be fair, it was the Four Kids One Piece, so they had it coming.
God,
Yeah.
that sucks. It's funny because anime endings are always really weird. A lot of anime's endings I don't find super satisfying when I do watch anime, and I'm not a huge anime fan. I'm really not. But a lot of animes that I have watched, they don't have the most satisfying of endings.
Oh,
Okay. You good there, Taylor?
yeah, I'm good. I was just gonna add something, but you kept going. That's not bad.
Like, a lot of people don't know this. Many people do, but some don't. Dragon Ball Z was supposed to end after the Frieza saga. Like, that was the originally planned ending.
No, now we want more.
Right, well, and the thing is, that was a good place to leave off. Like, it really was.
Oh yeah.
Like, the strongest threat in the in the known universe is gone. It's been taken care of. Goku might be dead, but he might be headed back home. Oh, yeah, anime 12 episode season, 1 through 10, great build up. Episode 11, cliffhanger, last episode, gave up writing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Isn't that basically kind of how Sword Art Online ended?
Oh my god.
I haven't seen that anime, but I heard more or less that's what it was.
All right.
I don't know if I've seen it all the way to the end, but I know that the first season I enjoyed. Second and on, but I heard that their recenter ones are back to being kind of good, but I haven't watched them, so I can't say much on that front.
I was down to clown for the first few episodes, and then the moment there was a certain point in the there was a character death in the middle of the episode, and I was like, oh, this is sad. This has some stakes. That's cool. They got a reason to fight. They're gonna grow closer together as a team. No, they bring her back and throw her in a fucking robot. All right, cool. Thanks for taking out the emotional stakes, Sword Art Online. I appreciate it. This world has no consequences. Thank you. And then Gun Gale was boring as shit. That's
yeah.
my summary. That's my summary of SAO. So from what I watched, is the first arc, it's until there's no stakes, and then it kind of starts becoming hot garbage.
If we talk about Gun Gale hurt my soul. Like, who brings a sword into a gunfight and makes it out okay? Like, sure, he has the skills and everything. He's good in that department, but bullets.
But bullets.
Bullets.
Nico, but Death Gun. Death Gun,
Bullets.
Nico. Death Gun, Nico. The main antagonist's big bad name was fucking Death Gun.
You know what? Here's a game that had an awful ending. Goddamn, Final Fantasy IV's ending is just ass.
What was Final Fantasy IV?
That's the one with Cecil and Kane and Rydia or Rydia, whatever her name is. You're the Dark Knight at the beginning of it.
So here's where I talk about my habit of picking up games and playing through the story and then not finishing them. Oops.
Was that the one that wasn't the one with Kefka, right? Then
No, that's 6. Yeah, that's 6. That's Final Fantasy 6.
so what made 4's ending atrocious?
So in 4, one second. So in 4, there is a character, the main antagonist is Golbaz. He is a bad guy. He's a very powerful man, powerful wizard, sorcerer, evil person who can control monsters and demons and all that stuff. And he is a menace to society. He is literally just your character, but on steroids.
Oh.
And like the first time you see him, even with it being an old SNES title, the first time you see him, you know, oh god, this man is a monster. This man is a threat to like life itself in this world. And when you finally see his combat art, like what he looks like as his fully detailed like character, he is horrifying. Like he looks like what you want an antagonist to look like. And you finally beat him. And when you do, you get to the ending of the game, and the game goes, lol JK, he was under control by this super powerful monster on the moon. Go kill it.
That is one of my like writing pet peeves, is where what it feels like is the writer is unable to make this villain sympathetic or likable. So what they do is, rather than trying to like build up to redemption, rather than trying to like justify why we should feel bad for this villain, they go, oh, he was mind controlled. I'm
That's
like,
right. Nothing was ever their fault. They're actually an okay person. Ooh woo. I hate that. I hate that. When people ask me, Dan, why are you so hard on the writing for World of Warcraft and, you know, all that stuff with the most recent expansions? That shit's why. Shadowlands was ass and it had terrible storytelling, and I will die on that hill.
Sylvanas wasn't a bad person. She's being manipulated.
I hate it here. God.
No, this sounds like me and my opinion on Thancred for a long period of time in Realm Reborn of Final Fantasy XIV.
Like, yeah, why couldn't Thaker just be a badass? Like, why couldn't he just be the villain? Like, why did he have to be mind controlled? That'd have been so cool. Like like one of the bad guys has been on your team this entire time. That'd have been fucking dope. Now you gotta fight your friend. It's great, but then like, oh, he was possessed and mind controlled. It's like, okay, cool. This went from like an engaging plot to Ghostbusters. Thanks.
It's such a weak plot device too. It really is. Like, I think it's something you do when, like you said, I think you're right on the money. I think it's a case of I wanted to make this character like a tragic character with, like, you know, a bit of trauma and like a way to make you realize like, well, you know, this wasn't what this person wanted. You know, it's not entirely their fault. And unfortunately, they're just not good enough at writing to make it work. In some of the writing pieces I've always done, I usually make it very clear, like, no, this person, if they are sympathetic and like they have reasons why you can relate to them, I make it upfront why that is. Other times, no, I'll just make it like very clear this is a bad person. Or if you're going to go the mind control route, that is something you need to establish early. That is something you need to establish early on to make it so you have a reason to give a shit when it finally comes up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or that's such a stupid trope.
You have the mind controllers, someone the characters genuinely like the person that was pulling the strings the whole time. Like I think one of my favorite D&D, like there was like it was like the D&D story subreddit, is that they had the old quest giver from the first village be the big bad. And
Nice.
people were trying to figure out like why are these people being manipulated and no. And it was this old man back at the starting village as the quest giver. He was kind of the middleman. And people would ask him favors and he would go and do it. And the party was unknowingly going and undoing his schemes.
Like, God, it's not a great writing device. It is not a great writing
No,
device a lot of
it
the
is
times. It's funny because the best instance of that working out I've ever seen is, has anyone here ever played the first Fallout?
Negative.
I've heard a little bit about it.
I've only played 4. I'm tragically uninformed when it comes to Fallout.
So in Fallout 1, the first Fallout game, you play as a vault dweller. And it's only been like 80 years since the bombs fell. Like, it has not been long at all. You go out into the wastelands to go get a water purification chip for the vault. The thing that makes the radioactive water drinkable is broken. You need a new one. The vault only has like a couple of months worth of clean drinking water left. So you are the one, basically they draw straws and you're the guy that ends up getting the short stick.
Oh, you're the unlucky lad to have to go out.
Yeah, and they make it clear you're not chosen because you're the most capable or you're the most, like, you know, talented or the one that's able to do the most. No, you're just the unlucky bastard they chose. That's
Yes.
why you're going out. So you go out, you get a new chip, you get back to the vault, and you encounter super mutants when you get the chip. You tell the overseer of the vault what you saw, and as soon as he hears about the super mutants, he's like, nope, don't like that, go get rid of those. Go find where they're coming from and put a stop to that. So you do. You find where the original super mutants are coming from. You kill their leader and you destroy the facility. No super mutants will ever be made in that region or in that spot again. They're gone. That threat is dealt with. You go back to the vault and the overseer thanks you for what you've done, but he meets you at the entrance of the vault. He's outside waiting for you. And he tells you that's why it makes it hard for me to say this, but I'm going to have to ask you not to go into the vault. I need you to leave and never come back. Because if you do, people might start to idolize you and they might try to replicate what you've done. And if they do, everyone will leave the vault and then there won't be a vault anymore. It'll be the end of us. So I have to ask you to leave. You need to go.
Or
See, that's good. That works.
Yes, and do you know
That's
what
'cause it's done
do you know
well.
what the canon ending for that overseer is?
What?
There are a few potential ones. Every single ending ends with him dying, that overseer dying. One of them is you can just choose to kill him and go in anyways. Another one is that you betray the vault to the super mutants and you're the one that kills him. The official canon ending is the vault dweller leaves. The people inside the vault eventually find out what he did when he exiled you, and they kill him.
So he's dead no
Oh.
matter what. That's good.
Like, I love that.
So keeping in line with this doing well, because this is of it being done well is the original BioShock, where the phrase "Would you kindly?"
Would you kindly?
Kindly, that is the best because it is very subtle. Because it was clever because it maintained the agency while still being kind of this subtle poke and prod. And I think that's the big like failing of it in like the shitty endings is that it like removes like all of the agency. It doesn't leave any sort of like yeah, you were being a little manipulated, but you were still being kind of a shitty person.
Yeah,
Like,
you didn't
were
need to
still-
drink those children.
Yeah, like yeah, you're
Yeah,
being poked and
you made that
prodded.
choice. You chose to do
Yeah.
that. You didn't have to do that. That was you.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it doing it correctly.
But yeah, do you have any idea how pissed I was too when I sat down and I thought about all the times Atlas said, "Would you kindly?" And I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You son of a bitch.
You son of a you're just walking out of the room and go, man, that was a really good video game. Would you kind? You motherfucker.
God. Like, it's so perfect too.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Oh,
would you
man.
kindly?
Oh, man. So good though. So good. Yeah. Oh, BioShock 1 and 2 were pretty good. Infinite was weird. I enjoyed, like, I'm the only person I know of who actually enjoyed a lot of the gunplay of BioShock Infinite.
I enjoyed Infinite. I really like. At moments it became kind of shooter gallery, but I enjoyed it overall.
Yeah. Ending. Absolute shit. Dog shit ending. Terrible.
That was the epitome of pretentiousness. It felt really weird. Like they were like so many different universes and multiple. I'm like, cool. Like I kind of liked it
Wow.
when it was a bit more subtle. Although, like that's the other that makes a bad ending is where if you have themes and ideas, just trust the person unless you're like making a kids show and you just like you absolutely know you're dealing with 2 brain cells max. Like trust the reader or the person engaging with the story to be smart enough to catch the themes, to like go back and think about it. You don't have to like sit here and go, this is why we did this. Look at all my themes and foreshadowing. Wasn't I clever? Like, I mean, you were until you decided to put up a fucking museum of it, asshole.
So very clever. It's like
Yeah.
they're telling the story and then they're like, this happened. Oh, also, by the way, gives the big foreshadowing of what's to come, and then they just continue talking and completely disregard the part they just talked about.
Yeah.
Yes,
My
exactly.
my wife just messaged me like, "Oh, the ending to The Mist. I'm gonna disagree with you, hon. That's a great ending.
Uh-oh.
It's not a happy ending, but it is a great ending. It is not a happy ending by any means. Have you guys seen The Mist?
Negative.
Oh
Oh.
my god. So it's a Stephen King movie, and it's actually a really good one, which is great because a lot of his recent movies have been ass, and it's a little bit of an older one, but not that old, like late 2000s. And in the movie, there's this mist that rolls into town, and it's full of monsters. Just full of them. They're these eldritch, otherworldly creatures. Some are insectoid, some are like, what's what I'm looking for? Like, whatever genus of species octopus and squid are, that sort of thing. They come in a lot of.
Hentai.
Sure. So, anyways, these monsters and stuff are just deadly. They only kill. That is their sole purpose in life is they kill. And so finally, the main character is locked up in this grocery store with a bunch of people while they wait it out. They're waiting for the military to come and save them. And there's some psycho religious lady screaming about the end of days and how this is all their fault. And slowly, as more and more terrible things happen to everyone, people start to believe her. So, eventually, she just demands that the non-believer, the main character, she demands his son so they can sacrifice him, and that will be what will get rid of them. So the main character says, nope, don't like that, gets into a car with his son and an elderly couple, and they leave. And they get stuck out in the mist. Their car, I think, dies or something like that. And the dad kind of realizes, we're out in the middle of this mist. My wife is dead. They found her body. I have 3 bullets in my handgun, and we're all going to either be slowly eaten by these monsters or suffer a worse fate. So he takes the gun and he kills the other 3 people in the car. So they don't have to go through that. There's no more ammo for himself. And after having killed his son, the mist begins to part as the military goes rolling past him.
I feel like I have watched that actually, as you're describing that.
Right, and like that's not a happy ending.
No,
That's a good
not by
ending
any stretch
though.
of the word.
Like,
An unfortunate ending.
yeah, because
Like,
it's one of
the
those
timing.
things. Like, it's one of those
Ugh.
things. Like, so was that just crappy timing on his part, or was the crazy psycho lady right? Because as the military roll through, they make it clear the military aren't just like, struggling. No, they're steamrolling their way through these things.
My lord. I recognize it, but I don't know if I've watched it or if I've seen snippets of it. Maybe, did Kill Count ever make a video on it? Because I might have watched it.
Maybe.
Wouldn't be surprised because typically when I recognize things like that and I don't actually know if I've seen it, it's because I watched the kill count for it or missed.
You don't see a ton of people die
Missed.
in it, to be honest with you. It's only a few.
Yeah, it's on the kill count. I yeah, I definitely did watch that. I didn't watch all of it though.
But yeah, I love that movie's ending. But yeah, that's a good ending. Bad endings. You know what? I'll be that guy. I'll make a controversial take right now. I think Star Wars episode episode what is it? Is it 6? Yeah, 6 was the original ending of the series, the OG ending. Was a pretty okay ending. I don't think it was actually that great of an ending, only because
It was I.
yeah, it's because I think at that point, even back then, it felt very low stakes. You know what I mean? Like, yes, everything is supposed to happen. This is it. This is the making or breaking of freedom from the Empire and everything else. And the whole time, every time I rewatch that movie, I know what's going to happen, but I just never have any moments where I'm like, this could go any way. Like, no, the main characters always feel safe. Did any main character die in the Star Wars movies other than Obi-Wan?
I don't think so, because Han made it, Chewie made it, Leia, Luke.
I know Vader died, but who cares, you know? Like,
yeah, that was his whole arc. Yeah, was to like die redeeming himself.
Yeah, I have an actual a really funny thing with Star Wars. Every time I've attempted to watch Star Wars, I've gotten like an awful migraine and couldn't finish it. So
you know,
Watch
the
the
problem
prequel
is
series.
you need more of the Cantina song. That'll fix it, Nico.
honestly, no, but in high school I was getting ready
Fucking
to watch
kazoo.
whatever the new one was coming out at that point, which I don't remember the name or anything, but I had told my friends, hey, I've never watched any of the Star Wars. I probably won't go see this because, you know, I don't know what's going on. Their response to that was, hey, let's marathon them. So we did.
That's why you got a migraine. Is because
So
they are not short movies.
no. But we watched half on one day and half on another, but then proceeded to go to the movie that night after marathoning them.
Oh, oh
And
yeah. So your eyes were
by the
already
time we
strained.
got to the movies, like I couldn't even open my eyes. I sat down in my chair to get ready to watch, and I had my eyes closed for like the entire movie because my head just was killing me.
Yeah,
It's
that was probably not the way to do it,
yeah.
buddy. But speaking of Star Wars, I actually do have a hot take on the ending of Rise of Skywalker. Sort of. It's probably
Is it a
not
hot
that hot.
take? Everyone I know shits endlessly on that movie, so I'm
Yeah,
not
that was
sure.
a hot
Everyone,
Yeah.
so everyone shits on it, but they're like, "Oh, they should have just made a Star Wars movie." My hot take is that the Rise of Skywalker should have owned all the shit it did in the movie before, because that was the problem. Rise of Skywalker, all the way up to the end, felt like one weird, awkward retcon apology letter. Rise of Skywalker was the drunken text from your ex at 2 a.m. begging you to come back. That's what it felt like. Because like, oh, here's all the Jedi. Here's Anakin. Oh my God, she claimed to be a Skywalker. Oh my God, Emperor Palpatine's back. Isn't that pretty fucking dope? Rey was the daughter of Palpatine the whole time. Oh my God, it's
Oh
like,
my gosh,
dude.
spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler. Well, we're already warned.
God.
Like, it's like own your like endings that do not own the shit you pulled from before. Like that's it's just, you're being a coward. First of all, like you wrote dumb shit. Own the dumb shit you wrote. All right, be proud. You wrote some dumb shit. Don't like, oh, we're sorry. Here we go. We retconned all of it. Like no, like you wrote a turd. Admit you wrote a turd. Easy.
Yeah, if you did bad, you did bad. Get over it.
Exactly. Like raise a nobody. Sweet. Roll with it. Kylo Emo Ren is like trying to get rid of light side, dark side. Have him start like getting rid of the terms like Jedi and like roll with it. Like, don't just go whoops and try to sweep everything under the rug in one movie, especially the ending. What's your name? Ray Skywalker. Like, oh my god, there are fan fiction writers that could have wrote a better line than that shit right there. Oh my god.
I think my favorite thing to come out of the more recent Star Wars were the memes around Kylo Ren, where like he only was wearing like pants, so his whole torso was exposed.
Very
People
blocky.
just like they very much over memed him, and I was very happy about that because it was funny as hell.
It was. Which is bad because he's actually a genuinely great actor. Kylo Ren broke his back trying to carry that goddamn series.
Fair. Like, man, bad ending. It's funny too because I'm not a hype guy. I won't go see a lot of movies in theaters. And that's hard because over the past few years, I haven't seen any movies with bad endings because I wait until, like, you know, the reviews from the viewers are out, not the critics. I don't give a damn what they say, but the viewers and stuff. And then, you know, if I know a movie's going to have a shit ending, I just don't go watch it.
God damn it, Neko. Come on, damn it.
What did I miss? What did I miss?
Go look in the podcast, chat, Dan.
What did
look.
Why is this here? What is this, Neko? What is this? What is this?
Kylo Ren memes, they're so good.
Neko, what is this? No.
What are those?
I hate. But Neko. But
This is
Neko.
excellent.
But I'm putting oh no, Kylo. I'm showing this picture, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Neko's going into the
Now everyone gets to see this. I'm gonna get age restricted. I don't care. Look at this. Look at this. What is this? That's not a W, boss man. What is this? Why are his pecs on the actual version of him somehow there and not there? He looks like an out of shape person who pulls their pants up to hide the fact they have a gut.
These are
He
so
looks
good.
like the real version and the Lego version somehow both look like Roblox characters. What is this?
Oh man, I'm sure there is like so many Kylo Ren Roblox characters.
He looks like he walks around telling other boys to lick his milkers.
I think because I'm looking because if you look at the at his left side, you can see where like his hip hip joins the leg. So he is Grandpa Pants in those.
Yes.
Hardcore.
Yes. He looks like a slightly more in shape version of Jerry Trainer, the guy who plays Spencer in iCarly.
Oh, I can't unsee that. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Damn, I hate you. I can't. Great.
Why does he look like neither Carrie Fisher or Harrison Ford? Yes, Neko.
Huh. What is this?
Listen.
He sent a picture of the same guy. Stop. Stop.
Why? There's so many good ones.
Stop.
That was a turkey head. All right.
Good. I'm glad that's a turkey head because that's not what I saw.
That's not what I saw either for a second.
Like, why is it so wrinkly? God. All right. Anyways, but yeah, was there ever an ending that just legit was so bad or disappointing that it took you completely by surprise? Like, it just out of left field, like you had no suspicion whatsoever that this was how it ended?
So prepare for this super unpopular opinion, air quotes. Mass Effect 3 was the first time narratively I had binged it for 12 hours playing this video game, getting to the end of it, and I had finished it, and I was like coked out of my head out of monsters. I had been like up till like 8 in the morning. I had not slept. I had played it till 8 in the morning. And when I finally finished it, like bags under my eyes, 1,000-yard stare, I just get up, walk into my dad's room, and he looks at me and goes, "Are you okay?" And I just said, I'm like, that ending was shit. And I left, I left his room and I went to bed.
What
The
color
ending
ending
was
did you take? What was your favorite color
I
ending, Taylor?
I
What
did
was your favorite color
I
ending in Mass Effect 3?
I really love the purple ending. It really matched my room at the time.
Speaking
God.
gibberish right now to me.
All right, Nico, do I need to explain the Mass Effect 3 ending?
I think so. Yeah, please.
Okay, all right. This is I get to take out.
Hang on, Nico. You have never. You don't know the ending of Mass Effect 3?
I I have told you my nasty habit.
Oh,
Um,
Nico. Oh,
All
dear
right,
child.
sweet
Taylor,
child. So,
yes, run this
all
poor
right, here we
man
go.
down this
All right.
journey.
All right, so real quick, so the entire thing about Mass Effect is you're playing a character named Commander Shepard, and there are these big omnipotent, oh my god, these big scary Cthulhu robots that they're the sizes of skyscrapers, and and there's like hundreds of thousands of them. They can wreck your shit, and they're coming to destroy the galaxy and all your alien friends. And so you
okay.
spend 3 games preparing for them, getting allies, talking to aliens, building up your ships, doing all of this stuff, romancing aliens. Hashtag if you don't romance Garrus, you're not a homie, and if you don't romance Miranda, you suck. Anyways,
No, no,
moving
no, no.
along.
Miranda's a piece of filth, and if I could have let her die and gotten the perfect ending, I would every time. Carry on.
It's okay to be wrong. Anyways, moving along. So you spend 3 games, 3 fucking games, each about 20 to 40 hours long, depending on if you do the side stuff. And you're trying to figure things out. Like do you use the mass relays, which is kind of like the public transit for the galaxy? And you're trying to figure out like how do we defeat them? How do we beat them? Because they're just these big, mysterious, scary, giant, flesh-eating sort of robots that are bigger than fucking buildings.
Okay.
And you work your way, like you get resources and you build this weapon called the Crucible. Dramatic music, French horns.
Dun,
And
dun.
and the Reapers invade Earth, and you're trying to save Earth, and you bring the Crucible to Earth to save them. And you try to fire it off. It's like, oh shit, someone's got to get up there and get on the Crucible to fire it off, and it's you because you're Commander Shepard and you're the hero.
This is your favorite weapon on the Citadel. Go get there.
Yes, this is all your favorite stores are on the Citadel, and you have to save them. And you go up there. You have one big last fight with the elusive man, who was kind of a villain.
He was
kind
Charlie
of a
Sheen.
helping.
He was just Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, he was Charlie. He was Charlie Sheen. Really cool dude. Anyway, so you have like one big fight with the elusive man.
Oh wait, no,
You
Martin
and
Sheen. Sorry, he was Martin Sheen.
Martin, yeah, Martin
he,
Sheen.
he
Yeah,
was
he's
literally
his
Martin
dad.
Sheen. He was literally Martin
Yeah.
Sheen.
Yes.
Okay.
And so you beat Martin Sheen, and you're getting ready to fire the Crucible with your friend and mentor Captain Anderson, aka Keith David. And I was like, I almost called him David Keith. And you two are sitting there, and Keith David dies from his wounds, and you're just sitting looking over the galaxy, getting ready for the Crucible to fire. I'm like, this is going to be a pretty good ending. And all of a sudden, you hear over the radio, the Crucible's not firing. So this wounded, burned, torched up Commander Shepard drags his body over to the console. I'm like, wait, why are we going any further? This is good. We're good here. He can die here. Let him die. And then the platform begins to raise. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And then you are presented with a small holographic child that tells you have 3 choices depending upon how much space save the galaxy currency you have. And you have 3 choices. You can either destroy all the robots, rule 34 with all the robots, or control all the robots. And you pick one, and it changes the color of the ending.
Okay.
It was the most out of left field like the best way I could explain this shitty ending is that you are watching 300 and the Spartans are getting ready for their final fight, and all of a sudden it fades to black, and when it comes back you're watching King Leonidas and his second in command on a boat in the middle of the ocean, because now we're watching the Titanic with the cast of 300, and you're just sitting here going, what the fuck just happened here?
I mean, I'd watch
It
that.
was it was such an out of left field ending. there was no buildup. Like the one bit of foreshadowing was a random thing back in Mass Effect 1 on a tooltip on a planet. That is the one bit of foreshadowing they did for this entire bullshit.
It was rough because like Taylor's summary was not off. Like one of them was because when it says the robots, it doesn't just mean the Reapers, the bad guys. It means all AI or anything integrated with AI. You could just purge all of it. You could render all of it to be mindless slaves of yours. I'm sure that won't have any moral problems on you or lead to humanity purging anything else, or perhaps the Reapers taking control. Or there's the integration ending where everyone becomes quasi AI or bonded partially with the AIs to. Yeah.
And
so, which of those endings was like canonically accurate? Like, or is it like three separate?
I think
canonical endings.
Destroy. I think Destroy ended up being like the quote canonical.
You tell you what, I'll go look real quick, but yeah.
I'm just. You said R34 the robots, and I couldn't focus.
Oh, there isn't.
I was like, what?
Yeah, there is no there's no canon ending according to what I can see here. But the most commonly agreed one is that Shepard said screw it and just purged all artificial life from the galaxy.
Out of the yes. Well, what's even sad is that there's this like AI versus organic like subplot throughout Mass Effect 1 into 3. And right like a few missions before you get to this point, you prove that humans and organics can work together. And what is in the community known as the Space Child argues that like organics and robots will never be able to work together. And literally 8 missions ago, you proved they could. It's
what was the whole plot point with Legion help and getting the Geth, if you did the mission the right way, getting the Geth to help the Quarians? What was the whole point of all that if obviously no, they can't work together? Like, bruh.
Bruh, what the fuck? But then like synthesis had weird implications because can you indoctrinate people? Like what's going on here? And then the whole like
and you die, by the way.
And you die. And then you die. Then you get blown up.
Yeah.
But except in the Destroy ending, you take a breath, which that has because the thing is the Crucible was up in Earth's orbit. So apparently in the Destroy ending, if it's to be believed, so you blow up the Crucible and Shepard's body, whose armor is not intact, you are burnt, scorched, you've been hit with lasers, you have no helmet. You have a glorified trash bag for your armor at this point. It's what it might as well be. Somehow in the Destroy ending, he survives falling from a space station, pulls a Master Chief without being Master Chief, and crashes on Earth, and somehow can take a breath.
What?
So good.
Hold on. If his armor was like falling apart, how did he withstand the heat of like re-entry?
Question, Taylor. I don't remember. What did the DLC change? Because they had an ending DLC because of how pissed everyone was. What was the difference?
It so
did it add did it add that Shepard like the whole he's actually alive? Didn't it just add that to all the other endings or something like that?
It didn't do that. Only Destroy had the breath scene. The issue with the original ending is that again the mass relays, which is the best way to think about them, is like galaxy-wide public transportation. And so it would help ships move across the Milky Way at reasonable times. Well, the problem is in the OG ending, they got blown up. Which, if you're an alien and you're stuck in the system with Earth, you don't have your food, so they're going to starve to death. So the mass transit system this entire society depends on got blown up, and they're stuck there. And no one knew what happened with all of the other plot lines you had resolved up to that point. The quote director's cut, all it did was add HD PowerPoint slides to explain what happened after the ending, and added a little like some scenes here and there to explain how certain crew members were able to get back to the ship. That's all it really did.
Oh, that's rough. That's rough.
It patched what holes it could. But oh boy, it was still a pretty garbage
It's
ending.
it's funny too because that was the first time that arguments on the internet about a game's ending and stuff went mainstream. Like the
Mhm.
ending was so controversial that it was the first time to my knowledge that like websites and platforms that don't discuss video games and stuff like that were actively talking about it because it was just so like holy crap, people were not happy. It was also the beginning of my least favorite trend of video game developers trash talking their audiences because they dare to not be happy with what they made.
There you go, Nico. I posted what your armor looked like before. That was kind of that was the beginning point of that because the vitriol was so bad. I'll admit some of the Mass Effect 3 ending people got crazy. Like they bought billboards and sent BioWare cupcakes. It was a very weird time. But that was the beginning of it where like, developers just did not like care for their customer base at that point because I guess they had like, well, fuck you then.
Yeah, whenever you sit down and wonder why it was Blizzard thought they could just say, "Don't you guys have phones?"
It was
That
this moment.
that was when that started.
I mean, when you
Yep.
have like 3 entire games of build up to a scene just like that, where it's like, oh, you have these 3 options, very different endings that aren't super satisfying. It's like, what? Huh? I don't.
And
I still fail to realize how like he managed, or your character managed to just make it through reentry, let alone just survive in space.
So the funny thing is, that's not the first time your character did that. The difference is the first time your character did it, they died. They fucking died.
yeah, your
Um,
character dies in two.
yeah, they like you died so hard at the beginning of Mass Effect 2 that it took billions, if not trillions of dollars, the most advanced technology ever created for Cerberus, an organization, to find the carbonized remains of what was left of you and then basically genetically reprint you.
With some like cybernetics for spice.
Huh.
Like,
So a
yeah.
chromed up newborn.
No, you were still flesh. They 3D printed you a body, basically.
Yep.
And they show the
I don't.
process. It's actually really cool. But they make it clear, like, listen, the amount of time, effort, and energy it took to do this for just you, there's no, like, we will not have this be widely available for everybody because it's just not possible. The galaxy does not have the resources to do this.
Again.
And this just makes me think. You were talking about how like the big transport system went down, or that it got destroyed. So that makes me think like if that happened like here, so if for some reason like a big portion of like our railroads got taken out or like our roads, like how how much of an impact do you think that would have on how we exist, I guess?
You would be fucked.
It depends on
you're
where you
just
are, to
fucked.
be fair.
I mean
It-
like a huge portion of like highways,
No,
like
I know.
sections.
I mean it depends on where you are. Like if you live in a
Okay.
town where all the farmers already are and stuff like that, you'll probably be okay.
if you're in like New York City,
Yeah, if you're
and
in
like
the cities on the coast and stuff like that, no, you're screwed. You're just screwed. Yeah, no, a lot of those states and stuff like that do not have the infrastructure for that.
nope.
Yeah,
But yeah.
that's insane to me.
There's a reason why in the Midwest, so many of the states in Fallout seem to do pretty okay compared to how the coasts ended up looking.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
yeah, hey, Danielle asked if you keep your memories. Yes, they actually touch on that. They had to re-download them into your brain if memory serves once they made a new brain for you. And they actually had a discussion because you inevitably betray the organization that brought you back because reasons, important reasons, and valid ones. But they actually discuss how they considered putting in implants in your brain to keep you loyal so that way if you ever went rogue they could press a button and it would force you into compliance, and the only reason they didn't was because they were terrified that if they did that they ran the risk of making whatever it was that made you so amazing not amazing anymore, basically,
Yup.
and it just wasn't worth it to them. In
I
hindsight
feel like I
they
need
should
to
have done
play these
that, but you
games.
know.
Yep. Just put a dog collar on him and call it a day.
Yeah, just if the game didn't end that way, it would have been the perfect trilogy. It really would have been.
It would. You know your ending is absolute garbage when people use their own free time to make to mod your ending. The one of the first mods to come out for Mass Effect 3 was the happy ending mod.
No,
Nice.
that's just kind of sad. That's the first one.
But hey, guys, it's 9 o'clock. That was
Lord, that
yeah.
That went so fast.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys all for being here with me. I appreciate it deeply. Does anyone have anything they need to plug, promote, or talk about before we sign off for the night?
Only Dans. OnlyDans.com.
I think you know my answer for that, sir.
Fair enough. Just a heads up, everybody. We will not be meeting up next week. Taylor has a party that he has to go to.
Woo!
And I am too lazy and pathetic to find someone to replace him for that night. And I'm going to be real with you. I wouldn't mind a week off.
Yeah, I feel kind of special.
Like, do you understand, Taylor, did I tell you how long I spent making that review video for the Outbound Ghost?
Wasn't it didn't you hardcore go 12 hours straight at one point?
That was just on the game. Like, on
40
playing the
hours?
game. That was just on playing the game. That review, if I count gameplay time, was about 30, 40 hours of work.
Jeez.
It's also one of the longest videos I think I've put on this channel. Actually, outside of my interview with Dave, it might be my longest video that isn't like an active gameplay session.
Jesus. When the ending is so bad, it makes you make a longer video to explain why the ending is so bad.
Yeah, it is my longest scripted video that I have ever made. Yep.
Well, that script was long, I guess.
It was like 8 or 9 pages, I think. I don't remember. And that was after cutting out a lot of content, by the way.
Speaking of and writing, Dan, cough cough, I'm still waiting on some updates on that story of yours. Wink wink, nudge nudge.
Yeah. Yeah, that one might stay in the forever closet.
No!
I'm sorry. I got towards the last 2 chapters and I just couldn't make it work.
I'm so sad.
Oh, well, maybe someday. All right. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in a fortnight. Have a great night, everybody.
Y'all take care.
Dab.
T-pose.
A pose.